My name is Sara and I'm originally from a small town on the west coast in Sweden. Before I started with triathlon, I was a medical doctor, but over the past couple of years, triathlon has been both my passion and profession. I would say that as a person, I like to be outdoors and I like to be physical active. And that suits triathlon very well because you can train a lot and you're outdoors most of the time. But what actually drives me, I think, is it's only about the races. It's about the process of overcoming injuries, overcoming doubts, and always testing myself and trying to be better than I was before. So for me, sport is not about just the results. It's about who I am and who I can become. The race when I feel that I prove to myself that I belong with the very best must be IRONMAN 7.3 World Championship 2019 in Nice. Then I got 10th and got away with the fastest run split of the day. And just 3 weeks after, I proved myself again with winning Barcelona in a record time. And I think those two races really gave me confidence, telling me that I actually belong among the professional athletes. What first drew me into triathlon was actually back in 2012, and it was when Lisa Norden won the silver medal in the Olympics. And just a couple of weeks later, I remember a friend of mine was showing, it was a trailer for Norseman, and I just thought that it was so cool, and I said to myself that this I want to do someday. But then years went past, but I was running and I was cycling and I was swimming a little bit. And then my mom told me that, yeah, you should try this local tryout triathlon we have here in the city where I grew up actually. And yeah, so I did. And actually, I guess it was after I won the nationals on the 7.3 distance and then placed on the podium for the sprint and Olympic distance. And that year I also won my age group for the ITU long distance world championship, and then I realized that if I want to compete with the best, I need to be in the pro field. So the next step was quite obvious to me. Yeah, actually I have two periods through my career that really refined me as an athlete. And the first one was back in 2021 when I got heart problems after a COVID infection. In the beginning we didn't really know what was going on, but eventually showed that it was inflammation in the small blood vessels around the heart, which meant that when I was stressing my body with physical activity, my heart didn't get enough blood, which could potentially cause a heart attack. So in the beginning I was very worried about if I would harm myself by being physically active and also not knowing if this will ever go away. So this was the time when I was starting to doubt that I will never be able to do professional sport again and I might not be able to do sport at all, not just for fun. So that was one big tough period of my career. The other one was 2023 when I had just went through a tough breakup. I was at the same time losing my place that I called home. I didn't really have a place to stay. I was also facing a stress fracture that was first missed by the doctors and that prolonged the recovery for months. And then I was at the same time preparing for Kona. So at this period was, I think, more mental challenge because I was just lost, and I think I never really realized how dark period it was until I went through it. how I got through these dark periods, I think they were pretty similar because it was mainly on focus on what I can do instead of focus on what I cannot do. Also trying to rely on the team around me, take help from the people that actually wants to help me. They are there as a support, friends, family, doctors, yeah, the whole group of people around me. And then trying to celebrate the small victories and taking it day by day. But I can for sure say that this really changed me as an athlete, and I got more appreciative of getting to the start line. And yeah, just gratitude of being able to do sports on a high level again. There have been a lot of moments where I questioned if it would be possible to come back, and for sure the major one was after the heart problems. And I think it's very common to have doubts, and I think it just shows that you know what's at stake and what you could potentially lose. And then what eventually got me through was just resilience and willingness to become a better athlete, do smarter rehab, smarter training. And what eventually got me through was resilience and willingness to become a better athlete, to train smarter, to do my rehab smarter, and as I mentioned before, just celebrating the small victories day by day. And I would also say that the dark periods I didn't lose my ambitions, it just refined it and yeah, gave fuel for the fire. I first heard about lever through social media. I don't remember exactly which athlete I saw using it, but immediately when I saw it, I figured that this will be something really good for me. Since I've had a lot of injuries through my career, I've been using a lot of alternate training like aqua jogging, the elliptical, and also when I got access to Auto-G system, which is very rare to have access to, but sometimes you had, then lever just seemed like the perfect, suitable equipment for me to use. I believe that returning from injury is more mental challenging than physically challenging. The rehab is usually quite easy, but you always have this little voice in your head telling you that are you able to run again? Are you able to push the limits and load your body? Will next step maybe injure you? But with using the lever system, I think I can quiet this voice a little bit, and I can still be able to increase the running volume and the training volume or the speed without doubting myself for every single step and being afraid that I will injure myself in the next session. So leverhead gave me a lot of confidence that I will have the durability to perform in the next race without harming my body. My favorite type of training session has always been these really long, challenging runs that are when you look at the paper and you think that, oh, I will not be able to do this, and then you go out and you actually make it. I think that just the challenge itself to not be sure that you will make it or not, I think is thrilling. Now I haven't done so many of those yet, But so for now, it's actually, we have these specific Kona bike sessions, and I always get very excited when I see them in training peaks. So that's some sessions that excites me. So my first experience in Kona was, in the beginning, magical, because yeah, it's Kona, it's Hawaii, and it's just a very, very special place to be. But it ended up being a disaster. 1 week out of race, I got a severe back pain, which eventually showed that it was a sacral stress fracture. I didn't know at the moment, but I for sure know that I was not going to be able to finish the race. So I did the swim, but had to drop out. And my second time, I was very eager, but history repeats, and I got a plantar fasciitis 1 week out from race. But this time I was actually able to do the swim and the bike and start the run. But during the run up Palani, the foot just got worse and I had to pull out, which was also very devastating because I was running in 5th position. Yeah, it was a big setback for me that year. The third time, I thought that, yeah, 3 is a lucky number, but I had a very hard lead up. 2023 was a hard year for me, and I was recovering from a stress fracture. I didn't have the run in me. I think the longest run I did before the race was about 10K, so I knew for sure that I was not in good shape. But I had told my coach that you bring me to the finish line, and he brought me to the finish line. Maybe not in a good way. I was not happy with my performance. I was very ashamed of my performance because I knew I can do so much better, but at that day I couldn't. And yeah, it left me with a desire to come back and do better. So yes, I have a lot of unfinished business with Kona. The emotions I feel leading into Kona is scared and excited. I think it's just like a mix of a lot of emotions. I'm scared because of the history. I'm very excited because it's Kona. It's a race unlike any other race. And I also feel a lot of gratitude for being able to be on the start line after all it has taken. So a mix of emotions, but mostly I feel very excited to give it all I got and soak in the atmosphere.
And how are you preparing differently this time?
What I have done differently in my preparation for Kona this time is that I'm staying at the place what I call home in Germany now, which before I always went for a long camp and then I went early to Kona, but now I decided to do the training in Germany and not doing any ridiculously big number of weeks like you usually do on training camp, but just trying to be consistent with the training, going a little bit later to Kona. And so I have finished most of the hard training, but still plenty enough time to acclimatize to the time zone and the heat. Lever has changed the way I look and approach training a lot, especially during high volume weeks like preparing for an Ironman. When you train between 25 to 35 hours a week, you need to be able to trust your body. And with the lever system, I can feel more confident that I prepare my body for the hardest sessions to come and also the race to come. And I can still keep speed and pace without pushing too much pressure on my body and stress that could potentially lead to another injury or another setback. So for me, it's just lever brings me a lot of confidence that I can bring it to the next level without putting unnecessary stress to my body.